Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. My name is Nobalkis Fakihah binti Ramli and my metric number A169611. We are from Group 5 and today our group will present about formal and informal email and social media present. Okay, now I will start with introduction for case 1. Case 1 is about formal and informal email. What is formal email? Formal email used when conducting a business with a new associate or executive, sending a professional inquiry or corresponding about a job, while informal email usually do not have a particular role for writing. Even it does not necessarily need a format, but they still have a standard. Don't worry, in the next slide, my teammate will explain more detail about formal and informal email. Plus, they will show you guys the example for case 1. Alright, now I will give an introduction for case 2. Social media present refer to how they post and engage on all their accounts. So, it refers to how frequently you post, the type of content post, and level of engagement on your social media. For this part, Sazwani, Fatin, and Nazrul will explain at the next slide.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Aisyah Fitri binti Juraimi, matrix number A170227, and I'm the next presenter. I'm going to talk about formal emails that we need to pay attention as well. Talking about finding a job, it is definitely a necessity for everyone since we live in a technology-driven world. Most hiring companies are looking to have candidates to submit their job application through none other than emails. And with that comes a few tips and tricks that we can follow in order to give a great impression of ourselves to the one hiring, because remember, first impression matters to them. Now, emails can generally be categorized into two main types, which is formal emails and informal emails. Let's talk about formal email first. Getting promoted is impacted by writing skill. Okay, good writing skill communicate intelligence, professionalism, and competency, while poor writing skill communicate a lack of intelligence, professionalism, and competency. Once again, you need to remember that your professional image is impacted by your writing skills. The better your skills are, the better your image is, and the better your chances for promotion. That said, these are the skills you need to master to write a formal email when job seeking, which is you need to use a professional email address, use a short and accurate subject line, introduce yourself in the first paragraph, prioritize the most important info, and last but not least, use a formal language. These are the criteria that we need to do when applying or seeking for jobs. Now we are looking at some example of good formal emails. As you can see, the sender does everything I just presented. The subject is clear, the introduction is sufficiently brief enough to give a general idea of the sender, everything is in a proper format, the sender email address is proper, and the attachment are named correctly.
Okay, next, I'm Muhammad Noor bin Muhammad Zuki and my card matrix number A170767, and I will explain about bad and informal emails. These are some examples of bad emails that will most likely deter all of us from getting jobs. Looking at the first picture, the sender doesn't seem to put any efforts into giving a good first impressions to the hiring company with no introduction at all, and just putting in the resume attachment that's not even named properly. Also note that the send from iPhone phrase must be deleted from the email. If you can't find a way to remove it from your emails, make sure to use a computer whenever you are sending your job application emails. The next picture is slightly better, but the mistake is putting the introduction in the subject part of the email and not the body. This is not the proper way to write a formal email. The subject should only contain what the name implies, the subject of the emails. For example, in this case, the sender should have put something like application for accounting clerk at company ABC and put the rest of the email explanation in the body of the email. Next, how about personal or informal emails? Informal emails are still pretty much a necessity to our everyday life outside from work, so it is still important to take note the things you need to consider when writing an informal email. All these things are still going to tell how a person behaves, so it is definitely still important to keep it professional when writing even an informal emails. So, do not neglect the importance of writing a fully proper emails. To conclude what I just presented, those are some general tips that we should avoid while seeking a job. In conclusion, writing an email is an art that requires to be possessed by job seekers. Though it might seem complicated, it is considered the key to being hired. My hope is that we all can implement those tips I present in order to achieve great success in the future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nashal Zani binti Abdulghani and I will present case 2, which is social media presents. As we know, social media brings advantages and disadvantages as well. Today, I would like to share some example of common mistakes that some employees done on their social media. As we know, 70% of the employers use social media to screen the candidates before hiring, and 48% of them will continue checking out their current employees on social media. Some mistakes that employees done on their social media will affect their current job, which is 34% of the employees get fired because of the content they posted on their social media. Firstly, the common mistake employees usually did on their social media is displaying negative comments about their jobs or their clients. For instance, there was a post by the medical officer on his Twitter that insulted his patient. He posted that because of the patient case was referred to him at 3 a.m., which to him is quite burdensome. Because of that post, he was being investigated by the hospital he works at. Other than that, there was a case about a government employee whose work under the Ministry of Health Malaysia has spotted an unpleasant comment about the government on his Facebook wall. Due to that, someone made a report to the Department of Ministry of Health Malaysia. Later on, he was being investigated by the authorities and received a warning letter as he only done that mistake once. If the same things occur, he will be suspended from work. So, to avoid these similar cases from happening again, one must think before they post something on their social media. Once you post, you lose control of what happened to it. It will be completely out of our hands. Furthermore, things that get posted online are permanent and can reach people from all walks of life. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatimah binti Suhaimi, my metric number A170851. Today, I would like to share about the mistake in cases 2, which is social media presence, and how to avoid it from happening. My view is breach of confidentiality. Nowadays, so many cases regarding breach of confidentiality were happening. You have seen the latest and document bring the label private and confidential on the cover, especially at the office of banks. This is obviously a standard warning sign that if you breach of confidentiality without authorization, you will get into trouble, which also jeopardize your reputation as an employee. There's a lot of social media on company information such as internet complaint, trade secret, client details, and employee personal information. For instance, KFC recipe had been considered a trade secret. If an employee KFC suddenly leaked the details, which was previously unknown to the general public, thus, it cannot be a trade secret anymore as the information has already been widely disseminated. Another example of such case is exposure about client detail or employee personal information. It can be someone who is not being responsible that try to expose about other people in address, personal identifier or credit number. So how to avoid it from happening? In my opinion, employees must contract themselves to be responsible as stated in the agreement contract. Integrity is the most important thing when it comes to work. That's why before the employee hires someone for a job, they will need to find the social media workers in order to make a judgment whether they can be a trusted employee for their company or not. Apart from that, the organization needs to develop employee motivation through internal company program, which is giving accolades, rewarding employee, and most importantly, build good connection towards the employee. Motivation such as wanting to do better or work harder from employee and employees will improve if they are tied to the agreement of the contract. Thus, the rule that was stated plays as an ethical for being a good worker. So for that, employee can be honest and responsible when they work in a good environment workplace. So that's all from me. Thank you so much.
Hi, good morning to everyone. My name is Muhammad Nazrul bin Muhammad Azmian and my matrix number is A170378. I will present about bullying and harassment on social media. My first point is mocking or making fun of people on social media. This is a type of cyberbully on social media. For example, as we know, one of station radio staff in Malaysia stepped down from his role as a radio announcer after making fun of science teacher's English. He made a video and posted it on TikTok. Then, the video got viral on other social media such as Twitter and Facebook. In his video, he laughed and mocked a teacher's English pronunciation while she explained the human reproductive system on educational TV program. The station radio had taken action to him and make him step down from his job as a radio announcer. So this is a lesson for us to always careful and not to make a fun to other people on social media. It will affect and ruin our career and life. Next, my second point is sexual harassment on social media. As an employee and people who are seeking a job, we need to show a good attitude in workplace and also on social media. One of the examples for sexual harassment on social media is asking or sending an inappropriate picture or video to others. This is not only a bad example to us and company, but it is also a criminal act. Then, next example is like or sharing a pornography content on social media. As we know, there are many pornography contents on social media. So, we need to avoid sharing or like pornography content on social media because it will show a bad example to employer who is hiring us as a staff. So, how to avoid it? Firstly, we need to control our activities on social media. We should not make a content that will upset other people's feeling. It is a type of cyberbullying. We need to limit our interaction with people so we can reduce our mistake on social media. Then, show a good appearance and example on social media. People can make a good content on social media, such as a new knowledge about something and so on. When we show a good example on social media, it is not only gives a good impression to ourselves, but it will show a good image to the company. So, this is a picture that shows a sexual harassment and bully on social media. That's all from me. Thank you.
For conclusion, for case 1, in conclusion, for those who want to write a formal email, they need to make a lot of reference on internet or book to avoid unnecessary mistake. I'm pretty sure many of us can see the difference between formal and informal email from our presentation. Conclusion, for case 2, media social presence is very important and has a huge impact on individuals. Therefore, we must be careful while using social media. All I can say is think before you act because media social will be dangerous if you don't use it wisely. Thank you.